Hello again, it's Iris. Welcome back to Buddha Bites. I love berries and I eat them just about every day. I like strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, golden berries, all the berries. Problem is, no sooner do I get them home than they start to turn on me, and that is a big problem. So let's find a solution in the kitchen. So one of the best things that you can do with your berries, especially when they're about to turn on you, is to make a nice compote. So I have a small saucepan here and it is on a medium heat. I'm going to add a little bit of water, just a couple of teaspoons to get things going. And because berries aren't really in season right now, they're going to need a little bit of sugar. Now I'm going to add just maybe a couple of teaspoons of sugar. Now this sugar happens to be what's called golden sugar. It's a little less processed than actual granulated sugar, although this is also granulated sugar. I just want to show you the difference between the two. This is the regular granulated sugar that we use on a regular basis, and this is the golden. I like color, as you know, so as much as possible, I like to use this. And also with the supply chain issues, sometimes I go to the store and I cannot find regular bags of granulated sugar, and that was how I discovered the golden. So let's just take some berries, and you do not want to wash berries too soon. That's going to cause them to mold sooner. So I washed these right before you came, and we're just going to put them right in the pot. It's the raspberries I find that seem to turn the first and the worst. So we're going to add some blueberries. The blueberries tend to last the longest, but we're going to just dump these in. And again, I wash them. You don't want to wash them until right before you use them. And I wasn't able to find my golden berries, but I did find some strawberries. Now, I would like to show you, for me, the best way to slice these strawberries. And I'm going to use one of my single-use tools. This I bought a very long time ago. It didn't cost but a few bucks, and it is a strawberry huller. I like it because if your knife skills are not that great, you can just use this as almost like a tweezer and just pinch, turn, and there is the hull of the strawberry. It's out. And you haven't sacrificed any of the good berry that you can actually eat and enjoy. You've just sacrificed the hull, which you wouldn't want to eat in the first place. So you take off, I'll show it again. You just take off the stem and you just pinch and turn and pull. And if you can't find this particular tool, there are similar tools that you can find at a kitchen supply store. This is one of the single-use tools that I actually advocate. I usually rinse it immediately because, as you can tell, it's probably easy to lose too. But I love it. I use it all the time. So let's take a paring knife, and you know from previous times with me, we want to get a flat surface. We just want our strawberries to get to about the same uniform size as the rest of the berries that are already cooking. So that's a pretty decent size. It's comparable to the size of the raspberries and maybe even the blueberries a little bit. So we're going to put these in. We're just going to do this one more time. Just slice it in half. And all strawberries just seem to be different. They all have different shapes. So you just kind of roll with it. You find what you find. Again, strawberries are not in season, so you kind of have what you have, but this is another good reason to make a compote. So we have the cut strawberries. We're going to put these in the pot. And just to kind of get those juices going, I'm going to mix this up because, of course, the water and the sugar are in the bottom. You see how the raspberries are already beginning to break down a little bit? So you don't want to go too far from this pot once you get started with this compote process. Now, earlier I used half of a lemon, so we're going to use the second half of the lemon. Now, Jacques Pepin would say to slice the lemon on the side, and that's how you get a bigger yield of juice. So I'm still working on that, but I do see what he means by it. That is a decent yield of juice that comes out of just slicing the lemon from the side instead of the center. But I still like this citrus juicer because it also catches the seeds, and look at how much juice you can get from that. And you're going to need all that juice to help the berries to what they call macerate, M-A-C-E-R-E-A-T-E, macerate. That just means that the juices are being released from the fruit and they are melding with one another. So again, you do not want to step too far away from this. It's already beginning to come to a little boil. I'm going to hasten the process a little bit just by covering this temporarily. And I think I need something to wipe my hands. But I did leave something on the cutting board, didn't I? It is something that you can use or not use at will. I am a firm believer in spirits to boost the flavor of many things. And I think Grand Marnier is a great complement to our berries. I'm just going to put a little splash. That is going to boost the flavor a little bit. Now, by a splash, I would say that maybe was about a tablespoon, give or take. And I am not right-handed, and I am trying to stir this right-handed. Okay, so we're going to bring this up a little bit, but we're going to stay close by. And I want to just show you, if you come with me, a compote that I made a little bit earlier. I'm going to toast some bread, get that started. So this compote I made first thing this morning. And you see how the berries pretty much broke down into a homogeneous, nice little mixture. So I'm going to hold this to the side. I just toasted that bread, and we are going to talk a little bit about proper storage of berries. Now, I love the Container Store. They deserve a plug. This is the small berry holder. It has a little tray that has slots in it, and then it rests in this larger container. And this is a wonderful way to store your berries. Now again, you do not want to wash your berries before you put them in this. Take them right out of the clamshells, put them straight in here. Sometimes I put a little paper towel in the bottom, and they'll keep just a little bit longer. I also have a larger one that I keep my strawberries and blueberries, anything that I have in large quantity. And I don't wash these, remember. Put them straight in, and this also has those slots in the bottom. And you just put them in a convenient place in your refrigerator, and they will last as long as they're gonna last. So, while we are in here, I'm gonna take out some heavy cream, set that aside, see how that toast is doing. That toast is ready to go. And we're gonna go into the freezer, because one of the first things that you can do with your berries, especially if you see that they're about to go over to the other side, is just freeze them. I buy extra and I put them immediately in a freezer bag. And these will be ready for me for smoothies. You don't have to add extra ice. You can just grab a handful of these, put them right in the blender with almond milk, or that ginger brew that we made a few weeks ago is great for a smoothie. You can add your spinach and stuff like that. Ready to go whenever you need it, and it's not going to go bad on you because it's in the freezer. While I'm in the freezer, I have a little surprise for you. We're going to make whipped cream while we are waiting for the berries to do their thing. I keep a stainless steel bowl in the freezer because it helps the cream to whip up faster. I'm going to take this toast out, and we will deal with that later because we're going to go straight to the whipped cream. Now, I have to tell you, this was hard to find. There seems to be some sort of a supply chain issue with heavy cream. I tried to find some around Thanksgiving, couldn't find any. Finally, I had to go to sort of a gourmet market to find this, and you see, all I could find was the organic. I was happy to find it, and I was so happy that I did that I went ahead and I grabbed two. So whipped cream is really easy to make. You just need to have a little bit of patience. So that's our golden sugar, and I have this really cool gadget. You can just use a regular whisk, but this whisk has a little baby whisk in it and a little marble, and they add to your ability to whip. Now, when you whip, you sort of want to do a figure eight. And you can take breaks from time to time, but I just want to show you how easy this is. Sometimes when I have friends or family over, I will take a break from this and have them whip it for a little while. But the basic move is the same, is you want to have that figure eight move and you want to be patient with it. It's going to come together very quickly. And this is where I'm going to take my break and check on these berries. So, look at that. This is why you don't want to go far. So, the raspberries are almost completely broken down. You can still see the blueberries and the strawberries. The only thing that I want to do now is to keep the lid off and let the fluid, let the juices reduce a little bit. So let's go back over here. This is actually starting to thicken up. And before long, we are going to have a nice whipped cream. You see this? You see that it's actually beginning to thicken? Okay. So my arm needs a little bit of a break, so I'm going to take a tiny break with this and show you why I toasted that bread. So we will put that on hold for a moment and come over here to our already made, very well broken down berry compote. Now this has been sitting in the refrigerator for a little while. So, for just a moment, I just want to tell you, this Welch's Concord Grape Jam, you see I love it, I've used it. It costs $3.99. I'm not going to tell you that what we're doing here is cheaper because it's not, especially now with the prices going up as they are. But I will tell you that when you buy this for $3.99, you are getting, as the third ingredient, high fructose corn syrup, which is a cheap way to add flavor to a dish, to sweeten an ingredient, and it also is addictive. So you want to stay away from high fructose corn syrup as much as you possibly can. Of course, you can't totally stay away from it. It's in a lot of things. It's even in peanut butter. So I'm just going to offer the suggestion to you that if you'd like to lower your intake of this type of stuff, our fruit compote is the solution. So look at this. Would you rather have high fructose corn syrup on your toast with your jam. Or would you like to make maybe a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of this? Isn't that beautiful? So here is another option for you in the morning. And this will last you a good long time. So let's take a little break. I am going to finish whipping this cream, and then we are going to come back and show you a nice little brunch with our berry compote that is compoting on the stove as we speak. See you in a bit. All right, so we have our beautiful berry compote. We have our whipped cream. It took us about 5 minutes of straight beating. And there was a little bit of sugar in there, as you will recall. If you like, you can also add a little bit of liqueur, but we're going to deal with liqueur in a little bit, so we didn't need to add it there. So this is actually going to thicken up a little bit as it sits, but I love it as it is hot right now because we have a waffle, beautiful Belgian waffle that just came out. Waffles and pancakes tend to get cold really quickly, so I love to have the compote hot as it goes on our Belgian waffle. Now, remember when we were talking about bacon a little while back? Our first episode, I think it was. I pan fried this bacon. Actually, I didn't pan fry it. I oven fried it. This is just as is in the oven. Just took the plain bacon, put it on the sheet pan like we talked about before, and just cooked it until it turned the color that I like. But I also, for a bonus, made a brown sugar and cracked black pepper bacon. I just sprinkled a little bit of brown sugar on top, put a little bit of black pepper on top of that, and look at this beautiful gloss. So I want to tell you that you can also have this as an appetizer. It has gone away in my dinner parties when I have had it as an appetizer. So, no. Okay, so let's go back to our compote. Nice and hot. This is in a heat-safe bowl, just so you know. Look at the consistency. The berries, all but the blueberry, have broken down, but the flavor is still there. And this is beautiful on pancakes, on waffles. You can even thicken it up and put it inside a crepe. We're going to be talking about crepes some other time. We do the restaurant thing where we neaten it up a little bit and also neaten up what I've splashed over here. And what goes better with berries? Cream. So we're going to take our lovely whipped cream. We're just going to gently scoop out a little bit, lay that on top. If you want to get fancy, you can do cannelles, but that's another thing altogether. That's another episode, is cannelles. Essentially, this is kind of a cannelle anyway. And you know me, I gild the lily from time to time. What if we added some of the ginger that we candied a few weeks ago? Add a little boost to the flavor. Isn't that pretty? So we are going to eat that in just a moment, but you know me, it is cocktail time. So we are going to temporarily demote our beautiful brunch. And my sister and I sort of made up this cocktail this afternoon as I was getting ready, just through conversation and talking about what we would like, and based on what I already have, we're going to make a nice little mango cocktail. And I'm going to start out with some mango that when I sliced into it, I realized it really wasn't all that pretty. So we were trying to figure out what to do with it. So I had turbinado sugar. You see, this isn't so pretty. It tastes fine, it's just not pretty. And so we are going to conceal the non-prettiness of it all. And we have successfully made a pretty garnish. You know, you got to use what you have. No use in throwing this away. Remember what our dad said, you don't want to be the garbage man's best friend. There wasn't anything wrong. It just wasn't all that pretty. So let's take some vanilla vodka because I had it. That is going to be our base liquor. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't really do strict counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, sort of. I go by feel. And I have this mango nectar. And mango nectars tend to be a little bit on the thick side. So I'm going to shake it up a little bit and add that. And while I'm adding that, I am going to ask my assistant if she would kindly go into the refrigerator and grab the carbonated water, or maybe I'll do it because it's in the other refrigerator. I actually have 2 refrigerators. I have one in my dining room where I keep the boozy stuff, and one in the kitchen for the other stuff. Now, what I have just added is this beautiful mango liqueur. And I've had it for quite some time. I love to pour it on top of desserts like zabaione and stuff like that. So I just put a little bit of a splash in there, and there's a whole lot of density to this drink. So I think the way to top it off would be some fizzy water that I fizzed right before you came. It lightens up the beverage a little bit. And I think we are in business. So we will garnish it with our prettified mango. And we are off to the races. Mwah. So I'm gonna take a little bite of this so you know I'm not playing around. Look at how the whipped cream sort of melted into, the Belgian waffle. Yummy. I'm making messes. And this gorgeous candied bacon, y'all. It's a luxury. Not for all the time, but treat yourself from time to time. Oh, I have to pick up the one with the purple gem. So, I hope this helps you to figure out what to do with those berries before they grow a beard. And they're gonna last a little bit longer, and they're so versatile. This way, just cook them up, freeze them, and let me know if you have any ideas about how to use berries before they grow a beard. Like, share, subscribe, and join us again. So, this is Iris Fairfax for Buddha Bites. You are the Buddha. See you again soon.